Daycare survivors, dozens of kids in the path of crashing cars. New stories from inside their hospital rooms.
That car just went right over my grandson.
And only on 9, the worker thrown across the room.
The grace of God, I did get up. I got up and I was able to live.
Her life-saving action to save children.
Coverage you can count on from the team you trust. This is KMBC 9 News at 10, your #1 choice for news.
Terror and relief tonight. Parents frantic after a car crashes into a Kansas City daycare.
An SUV plowed into a parked Cadillac at 27th and Monroe this afternoon, pushing the car right into the daycare. What we know tonight, 3 children were hurt. 2 of them had to be pulled out from underneath the car. A daycare worker and the driver of the SUV also taken to the hospital. All of their injuries are listed as mild to moderate.
This local story has spread online and all over the country. We have live team coverage from the daycare and the hospital tonight.
We begin with KMBC 9's Diane Cho, who spoke exclusively to the injured daycare worker. Diane.
Well, and about 40 kids were inside when the car came crashing into the building, and she says they had just gotten back from a field trip from the movies when suddenly chaos unfolded.
I feel blessed. I'm very blessed. And all I could think about was the babies.
Still in her hospital gown and now walking on crutches, Deloise Colbert says she still can't believe she survived after watching a car come barreling through the wall straight at her.
The car came at me like boom, and it just took me. And then after that, that's all I know because I kind of blacked out. But the grace of God, I did get up. I got up and I was able to live.
She says she blacked out and at one point remembered gasping for air, but somehow managed to get back up after being thrown across the room. Her main concern, getting the children out of the building safely.
I honestly don't know why I was up walking or anything. I was just so in shock, like somebody just pulled me from there, like you gotta get up and go, you know.
2 of the kids were trapped underneath the car. Witnesses rushed to help one child, while firefighters used airbags in the jaws of life to get the other child out.
Because they was just all screaming. We went to the baby room. Couldn't get out of there because of the light pole was throwing shocks.
Still in disbelief, she says she's just glad the situation didn't end up much worse.
It's really just like, God, like, no, you know, it's not your time.
She also suffered some cuts and bruises, but is otherwise doing just fine tonight. We also spoke to someone else here at the daycare earlier who told us they hope to reopen the facility here within the next 7 days. Reporting live in Kansas City tonight, Diane Cho, KMBC 9 News.
Dozens of people were inside the daycare when the vehicle came crashing in. Defying the odds, only a few people were injured and are expected to be just fine. KMBC 9's Scott McDonald spoke with the families of the kids trapped under the vehicle. Scott?
That's right. It's been said before, miraculous that these kids walked away from this accident without more serious injuries. You know, earlier today, these mothers I spoke with, they were horrified. Tonight, they're thankful.
Her whole right arm is swollen.
A frightening day for little Jayla Foster.
She started crying and she was like, Mommy, the car was on top of me. The man, he ran us over. And I just broke down crying because just knowing it could have been worse than what it was.
And another mother who got a horrible phone call today. Shayla Davis has 5 kids who attend Christian Academy Daycare. After seeing the destruction, she was rattled with fear.
And then when I seen my son's name on a piece of paper, I just started panicking.
Her 5-year-old son, Zaire, was one of 3 kids injured in the destructive crash.
I'm assuming he was laying down taking a nap. And he said that when he just said when he looked up, it was a big car over him, and all he seen was the wheels.
Home video taken today of Zaire in his bed at Children's Mercy Hospital.
Hi, Brandon.
The boy's grandmother feeling fortunate that there weren't more injuries.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for praying for me.
All my grandkids and all my kids go there. So I'm looking at the news, I'm like, oh my God, and screaming, trying to get here and trying to put everything together.
Amazingly, Zaire only suffered a fractured hip.
I just was so happy that when I started talking to him, I said, your Kiki's here, and he just opened his eyes and looked at me, and he looked like, I'm okay. My mama's here, my Kiki.
And 5-year-old Zaire Davis being held overnight here at Children's Mercy for observation. The 2 other children injured in this accident have been treated and released home tonight, sleeping in their own beds. That's the latest for now. Reporting live, Scott McDonald, KMBC 9 News.
Oh, those little sweethearts. Now, Len, you were live on the scene. Was there anything that surprised you?
Well, you're talking, we've already used the word miraculous and surprising,
Right.
and it was interesting because after they pulled the cars out, KCP&L was restoring the power. There was a cleanup crew pulling out some of the debris from the child care center, and you saw some of the wood, the metal, all mangled, and some of the children's toys that were in there. And the one thing that crossed my mind, it's amazing that no one died in this accident.
Oh my goodness, thankful for that. In the morning, we'll talk live with a parent about the scary moments and where dozens of kids will go. In the meantime, join us on KMBC starting at 4:30.
About that time, we may see something else that's going to slow you down for your morning commute. Like today, we had heavy rain. Tomorrow, it may be a different thing that will obstruct your vision. Let me first of all explain what's happening right now with our City View camera. This is from the Sheraton Crown Center, City View, and temperatures across the area from our weather watchers, LC and Paolo 75, KCK Pershing Man 74 degrees, 82 Scott Schleichert in DeSoto. Here's what I'm referring to. With all that rain we got, close to 2 inches for Kansas City officially, the moisture's just on the ground. We have puddles, we have ponds. That's going to keep the moisture very close to the ground. That means fog will be forming in the morning, and it may take some time for it to burn off. By mid-morning, I don't think it'll be an issue, but for the morning commute, allow yourself a little extra time. We'll also outline your temperatures so you can plan your day. Back to you.
Keep your doors and windows locked. Call 911 if you hear something strange.
That's advice tonight from the Miami County, Kansas Sheriff's Office. Since midday, they have been hunting for 2 men suspected of pulling a home invasion near 258th and Old Kansas City Road. Now, those 2 men bailed out of a car near US 69 and 271st Street in Lewisburg. KMBC 9's Martin Augustine is live there tonight. Martin?
Now, Len, there are 3 suspects in that home invasion. A Lewisburg police officer earlier today tried pulling the 3 over, but they all bailed out of their car. Now, one of the suspects was captured. The other 2 got away, and the hunt continues for them tonight. A hunt that all day long has been playing out in front of a lot of startled people.
They're sweet horses. We love them to death.
Nova Jones and her horses,
We're there looking for...
here having their hooves trimmed, had a front row seat
This is like right on the side.
to a manhunt. Jones snapping a couple of photos of police with rifles searching her family's farm on foot. Overhead, the livestock trailer examined too.
You know, that was pretty scary. It's something you see on TV and not in your small town neighborhood, and it's pretty exciting but scary.
The Jones property a short distance from US 69, where the 3 men jumped from their car after a Lewisburg police officer tried pulling them over. One was caught, the other 2 scrambling for wooded areas and farmland nearby. That was shortly after midday. Shortly after 3 men burst into this home near Hillsdale. They tied up a woman there, ransacking the home for any money they could find before taking off, the woman getting loose and calling police. The dragnet spreading up and down Metcalf north of Lewisburg, but after a few hours, police began ramping back the search. For the Jones family, the work on the horses helps bring things back to normal, even with those 2 still on the loose.
I think there's not much worry. We're just going to keep our doors locked and all our windows locked just to be sure.
Now, that's good advice, and that's advice also, as we said earlier, coming from the Miami County Sheriff's Office for people living around Lewisburg tonight. Be sure to lock the doors, lock the windows, secure your property, be aware of what's going on around your property. If you hear something unusual, be sure to call 911. We should also point out that there are extra patrols in this area all night, so plenty of extra eyes that are peeled for any signs of those 2 men. Reporting live, Martin Augustine, KMBC 9 News.
The Sheriff's Office spokesman says the home invasion victim is physically okay, but very shaken up by what she experienced. We have an update on a baby found dead inside a Kansas City trash truck. Police now say the baby boy was premature, likely born at home. Trash workers found the infant's body in the truck at 28th and Campbell. Police are asking for help finding the mother.
A man who drowned his cat in front of neighbors and children did not break the law. Platte County prosecutors say they won't charge him despite huge public outcry. KMBC 9's Cliff Judy is live with a controversial pet death. Cliff?
Laura, prosecutors say they're not arguing that this could have been done more humanely. Of course it could have. Take the cat to an animal shelter like here at KC Pet Project. Take it to a vet to have it put down. Don't drown it in the middle of a Sunday afternoon with kids watching. But those same prosecutors also say that doesn't mean the man broke the law.
He was towards the flags to the right of the red kayak.
Neighbors say a typical Sunday at Lake Wacomas with slow-moving boats and mostly silent wildlife proves quite relaxing.
I had my granddaughter over the weekends usually, and we were out and she was on a swing and I was sitting up with her and we were just watching the people on the boats. It's very peaceful usually.
But 2 weeks ago, Tammy Judd says she saw her neighbor walk to a nearby dock carrying something.
And as he was walking, I asked him what's in the kennel, and he just waved me off like it's none of your business. And then next thing I know, he was holding the cat kennel under the water. It was horrific.
Judds later found out the man drowned his cat because the animal scratched and bit family members. Platte County prosecutors announced Tuesday the man did not break state laws.
But in this case, the only evidence was that this man wanted to get rid of a problem pet. Now, we all wish, I believe, that he would have done it in a better way.
Prosecutor Eric Zahn says Missouri law says an animal's owner may kill it as long as the intent isn't to torture it. He said he understood recent public outcry over the cat's death.
It would say something even better about our society if my office received the same sort of outcry on behalf of child victims, on behalf of victims of rape, of murder, and other crimes.
Now, because the man was never arrested, ticketed, or charged, we are not naming him. I did stop by the house that he and his fiancée share, but no one came to the door when we tried to talk to him. Cliff Judy, KMBC 9 News.
More than 1,200 people signed an online petition in support of charging the man with animal cruelty. Some neighbors even held a vigil at English Landing Park in Parkville.
After numerous water bill complaints, the state of Missouri now wants to audit Kansas City's water department. In a letter to Mayor Sly James, the auditor says his office has received several complaints and requests for an audit of the water department. It says the state can't force the issue if the city does not authorize one. We spoke with city officials tonight who say the mayor plans to consult with the city council and decide what to do next. All-Star fever spreading across Kansas City tonight.
David Hall is live in the Power and Light District.
That's right, you can feel the excitement for the MLS All-Star Game. From the fans to the fashion show, I will explain why soccer appears to be catching on here in Kansas City. Coming up next.
No, I'm going to stab you. Give me everything you have.
A Kansas high school student, tough on the football field and tough on crime, too. Why he wouldn't give in to his attackers despite getting stabbed.
Ooh, did you see that?
Propane tanks exploding into the nighttime sky. What investigators blame for an explosion critically injuring 4 employees.
The heaviest of the rain is gone, but now we have to worry about the leftovers. I'm talking all that moisture near the ground, how thick the fog will be, how long it'll last, and how temperatures will start to warm up heading into your weekend.
Less than 24 hours until MLS's All-Star Soccer game, and excitement is building tonight as Kansas City and fans prepare for tomorrow. KMBC 9's David Hall is live in the Power and Light with all the festivities. David?
That's right, today and tonight featured everything from music to fashion shows and fans just trying to have a good time. For the first time, local up-and-coming band Radke perform at Power and Light District downtown.
It's amazing, like, you know, I've never played it. I love playing around in front of all these people. Like, it's always amazing playing in front of a whole bunch of people.
Out-of-towners and locals watch as the group got the afternoon full of activities started off. Soon after, there was a fashion show featuring clothes that Sporting KC's Aurelian Collin designed, and his teammates subbed in as models. Collin says he was excited for his AC78 clothing line, and because he feels the sport of soccer is catching on here.
You're gonna look around, everybody's wearing jersey, everybody's into soccer. The city is all about soccer here, so I'm very blessed to be a part of it.
Also happy to be a part of these events was Hillary Holt.
It's being more appreciative of the game of soccer and the atmosphere and all the fun it brings to Kansas City.
And back to the group of brothers who have been jamming together for a few years. They admit that this All-Star Week event was quite the experience for them.
There's always nerves before a show, but within the first 5 seconds of playing, it all disappears. So yeah, I'm a little nervous, but it'll go away.
And the All-Star Game is Wednesday night tomorrow, and it'll feature the 2013 MLS All-Stars against AS Roma at Sporting Park at 8 in KCK. Reporting live from near the Power and Light District, I'm David Hall, KMBC 9 News.
Tomorrow morning on KMBC 9 News, we're live at Sporting Park to show you the All-Star Trophy and talk about the impact this game will continue to have on our community.
A Shawnee Mission West athlete called Superman by his teammates lives up to his nickname. He confronted 2 knife-wielding attackers. Brett Sturbach's team has just won the state all-star football game at Washburn University. The attempted robbery happened at a Topeka gas station after the game. Sturbach says 2 men demanded everything he had and stabbed him, but he turned the knife on them, stabbing one 5 times. Eventually, the men ran away empty-handed.
I mean, I'm just a regular person. I just got put in a crazy situation and reacted a certain way, and it turned out that it actually for the better, you know.
We have encouraged our kids to always be able to defend themselves.
The teen is expected to recover. Topeka police have not made any arrests, but say they are reviewing surveillance video.
Some of your favorite mascots at boot camp. You can see the Royals mascot Slugger. There's K-State's Willie the Wildcat is also there. Several of the mascots practicing their moves. The boot camp is held at Washburn University. The mascots learn how to work the crowd and how to stay safe and handle their costumes.
Yeah,
that's tough.
Whatever lifting you do for the neck, that's what Willie needs to do.
Feel the burn. Feel the burn. Actually, it looks like the Mavericks mascot, he had the most aerodynamic head.
Yes,
so he
yes.
least work,
Yeah.
I guess. Hey, tomorrow may be a work for you. What I'm talking about, it may be a challenge to get you to work in your destinations because of the possibility of a little dense fog that'll be out there. We had all this rain that we needed so badly, and now the moisture is just clinging to the earth. And with light winds, it's not going to take much to make some fog form, especially in those areas close to rivers and lakes and other bodies of water. Let us go right now and look at our City View camera. This one with the Liberty Memorial on the left-hand side of your screen, 73 degrees. That humidity already up there at 90%. Our winds are out of the northwest at 5 miles an hour, and look at that rainfall tally. Isn't that nice to see? Instead of zeros there and just a couple of tenths of an inch, over 2 inches of rainfall, which is actually pretty good news. But that pales in comparison to Chanute. Oh no, 7 inches total, and that's why that area is still under the gun for the possibility of aerial flooding. That's the way it's spelled, and that's the way it's pronounced. You may not see it like a flash flood warning or a flood warning. These are long-lasting events, slow rising because of the prolonged rain event that we had yesterday. And it's usually a larger coverage area. Just something to keep in mind, and it does stay in effect at least for a little bit longer, and here is why. Even today we picked up 0.6 of an inch. That made up more than what we had all month long, and obviously we're doing fairly good in that regard, at least closing the gap a little bit. 2.5 for the month, 20.5 for the year, and that's still a deficit, closing that gap too, at less than 3 inches for the entire year. Overnight tonight, with that fog possibility, calm winds. Soggy areas, talking about the soil being so soggy. Dense fog a possibility in 68 degrees in the morning. And here are the counties, as we showed you at the beginning of our newscast. Northwest corner of Missouri, the Kansas City Metro, farther south Paola. You live in Emporia, you're in it. Manhattan too, down toward Fort Scott. Staying in effect until 9 in the morning, where the visibilities could be less than a quarter of a mile there. Already starting to we'll call it squeezing out, only 4-mile visibility in Kirksville. Here's Future Scan, most of your Wednesday after the fog burns off, mostly sunny and fairly dry. And I think we're going to be able to press our luck even into the All-Star game. Team coverage continues with Lisa Teachman Loud at Power and Light. Can you hear me, Lisa?
Yeah, Brian, they are rocking it out here behind me at Power and Light. It is a beautiful evening, a little on the cool side with those winds coming in. Doesn't feel as muggy as it did a couple of hours ago. And as we look ahead to the game tomorrow, kickoff is at 8 o'clock. Looking at that forecast, mostly sunny skies, humid 86. By the end of the game, plenty of stars. Temperatures cooling off into the upper 70s. Looking perfect for the All-Star game tomorrow evening. Brian?
That sounds great, Lisa. And here's Future Scan talking about the next chance of rain when you're back here in the Weather Center. This is now Thursday midnight. As we go through Thursday, most of the day looking dry as well. But by Thursday evening, a chance of a couple of stray showers. A bigger batch of rain will be moving through on pre-dawn Friday. Then a third batch coming down the pike on Friday evening. So we do have a couple more opportunities for rain. Probably not as heavy as what we just had. No more 2 inches, it doesn't look like. 68 to 88 degrees on Wednesday, kind of stuffy after that fog burns off. 88 on Thursday, chance of rain late in the day. Friday, a good chance of showers and thunderstorms, high of 85. Cooling down a little bit Saturday, another chance of rain. Same on Sunday, off and on, not an all-day affair. Monday starts to feel like August, since that's the next month. A high temperature then of 90 degrees. Here are the probabilities. A 30% chance of those rains late Thursday, 40% chance on Friday, a 30% chance coming in on Saturday, and a 50-50 shot on Sunday. But as I say, this is not going to be a prolonged rain event. Len?
Brian, this Friday, your chance to make dreams come true for children with serious illnesses and enjoy some fine food and drink. 9 Can Help is sponsoring the Dream Factory's Boulevard of Dreams. Now, these are some of the pictures from last year's event. You could join me, Larry Moore, Stephanie Ramos, and Matt Fleener at Studio Dan Miners on West Penway this Friday, and the tickets are still available. Yum. Head to our website for more information, KMBC.com. I hope to see you there.
Tanks of propane rocketing into the air. This spectacular explosion sent employees scrambling to safety. What spared entire neighborhoods from this inferno next.
Extra time on the alarm, low beams on for your morning commute as we have the dense fog advisory, but it should burn off by mid-morning. 82 by noon, 88, just as muggy as it was today.
Okay, we'll take it.
And the morning news is going to have more coverage on the MLS All-Star Game at Sporting Park. Stay tuned at 4:30 a.m.
4:30 a.m. Don't miss it.